So I'm today talking about the best and the worst concerts that I've ever been to. And that's saying a lot because I've seen hundreds of concerts at this point in my life. But before I give it away, do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe, get that little bell over on the side. So I'm going to start with clubs. This is sort of an honorable mention thing. So as far as clubs go, it pains me to say this, the best band that I've ever seen live in a club, like small room setting, was No Doubt. No Doubt. I know, right? I've seen a lot of club gigs. I've seen everybody from big names to the unknowns. And the best club show I've ever seen was No Doubt at the Corona Showcase Theater. It was unbelievable. There is nobody that rocks a small venue better than No Doubt. Now, admittedly, I hadn't had a chance to see Rage Against the Machine in a small club, and my guess is that they would probably be the best. However, I didn't get that opportunity. So for me, the best band in a club that I've ever seen was No Doubt. And it kills me to say this, there is not a better front person in a small setting than Gwen Stefani. Now, take them to a bigger venue, I definitely would not put them in my top 10, but in a small club, they're it for me. Now, as far as big venues go, I've seen a lot of big names. I've seen, the greats in country. I've seen the greats in rock. I've seen the greats in metal. I've seen a lot. I'm going to give you my runner-up for worst band playing in a larger venue. And I would say it's a middle-sized venue. For me, the second worst show I've ever seen was Fishbone. Fishbone, who I love, played at the University of Redlands, and it was right before they released Give a Monkey a Brain. And amazing record, genre bender, music industry redefining album. And if you don't know that album, you got to check it out. It's all over the map stylistically, but they reinvented what you can do as a band in the 90s. And but the problem is nobody knew those songs. And they played almost exclusively songs from the new record. And what made it worse, I could have handled that if they had said, hey, we're here to play, give you a sneak peek at some of the new songs. But they didn't do that. They just played. And what made it even worse is the crowd was getting restless because they didn't know any of these songs and they wanted to hear the hits. They wanted to hear the stuff they love. And to be dicks, Fishbone would play the beginning of a song that everybody loves and then would stop and play something from the new record. It was almost like they were trying to piss off the audience. And I'll tell you, by the end of the show, they were ready to riot and go up and beat the shit out of these guys. Now, thankfully, that didn't happen. And they actually played one of their classic songs as the encore. But man, it was painful to sit through. So that was a lesson to me. You have to play some stuff that people want to hear, or you're going to end up with some really pissed off fans. Now that leads me into the actual best and worst concerts I've ever seen. So for me, the absolute worst show I ever saw was Prince at the Forum in LA. And if you know me, you know I am a massive Prince fan. And for me to say that one of my heroes gave the absolute worst performance I've ever seen, that's no small statement. So I went to see him at the Forum, and I was super excited because I was going to take my wife, I was going to take my kids. We got seats for all four of us at the time. And this is before Phoebes was born. And, it was like the anticipation was insane. I'd been waiting since I was in junior high to see Prince play. And I just never got the opportunity. So for me, I was pumped. Everybody in the house loved him. And, the opener was Esmeralda Spalding, and who is a phenomenal bass player. And it was an awful, awful opening set. Like, we could not sit there through how bad this opening set was. I don't know why it was so bad. Maybe something happened backstage. I don't know if there was something in the news that set him off. Maybe there was a band fight. I don't know. But it was terrible. And once that was over, we were like, thank God that's over. Get to the Prince. And the lights finally went out. We had to wait for, it seemed like forever for him to come on. It must have been half an hour between the opening act and the headliner. And he comes out, and the anticipation is huge in the arena. And he begins playing all these songs that nobody's ever heard, which is crazy. You have a mountain of hits. You have so many hits that you could go to. And he just song after song after song. I don't even know if these songs were ever released, some of them. And it was painful. And the crowd was pissed. We were so mad. And just like with Fishbone, the whole night he played one song that anybody knew. And it was awful. And what made it worse, just like with Fishbone, is he left and the crowd was like, okay, we got to get an encore because then he'll play some songs we know. We're cheering for a good 5, maybe 10 minutes. And then eventually the lights go up and finally he comes back on. But he doesn't go on stage. This fucking guy comes out on a bicycle, rides all the way around the arena, and then off stage. And that was it. Then the lights came on. Holy shit, we were fucking furious. The whole place was mad. And I got home and I'm like, I can't believe he has done, this is that run where he did like 21 nights at the Forum or 30 nights or whatever it was. It was his long run. Like, there's no way people are coming back every night to see this shit. So I look online and I'm looking at the reviews of the tour, and all the reviews are like, he played every song that was a hit. It was the most amazing show I've ever seen. It was incredible. I can die now knowing I've seen the greatest show ever. So I'm like, man, we must have got a bad night. So that was the worst concert I've ever been to. The best concert I've ever been to, same artist, same tour. So I buy tickets for my daughter and I. We're the only diehards that are willing to go back and sit through the potential disaster that was that show. So I spend even more money on better seats. We get down where the sound is like beautiful. He comes out. I don't even remember who the opener was at that point, but it wasn't Esmeralda Spalding. It was Sheila E. Sheila E. came out, and there were a couple of things that happened. It was dope. And then he came on and played every great song he's ever written. It was just unreal. And then at some point, he sat down at the piano by himself and did like this medley of tunes that we love, and the audience sang along. And he was just, it was perfection. But not in a like Eagles perfection where every note is like the record, which I'll get into at another time. It was like you could not have given a better, more inspired performance. And I was blown away. I had never seen somebody perform at that level and interact and connect with an audience at that level. Like nobody I've ever seen has held an audience in their hands like that guy did that night. And he did encore after encore. He did cover songs. It was amazing. So, I mean, to have the same artist on the same tour be the best and the worst concert you've ever seen, I guess just shows you how much range that guy had, and maybe how much you are feeling, what you're feeling on a night can impact your performance. But I'll tell you what, that was it. That was the best and worst that I have ever seen in all of the years going to concerts. And both of them inspired me in different ways. So I'm curious, what are your best and worst concerts? I would love to hear from you in the comments. Give us a subscribe, give us some likes and all that, share it with a friend, whatever. But yeah, thanks for hanging out and checking it out. And I got a whole lot more stuff for you. We'll be back with you again soon.